What's going on, all you gamers? Today I'll be bringing you my John Wick shotgun build. If that sounds like something that interests you, then stay tuned. That's coming up next.
How you doing?
Welcome back, all you guys and girls. So yeah, here he is, the man of the moment, Wick, John Wick. And of course, it wouldn't be John Wick without his trusty sidekick, his dog. Now, this build is a slight variation to what I originally intended. It is still nonetheless very, very good. Near on ridiculously overpowered, to be perfectly honest, and it's a little bit different, so it's quite a nice little thing to bring to the table. Now, I was going to go the route, because you may be thinking, why is this a shotgun build? John Wick uses a handgun more than most, so why is it not a handgun build? Right, there's two things. One, I was watching John Wick 2, and that's the reason why I was inspired by this build, and I really liked the shotgun scene in it. The other part is when I was doing my keyword research, when I was actually making this into a kind of handgun build, I noticed that someone had already done one and it was ridiculously good. So I didn't even think I could do better, to be perfectly honest, so I swapped it out and changed it and swapped it to a shotgun build. So just in case you did want to see a really good handgun build, have a little look at Owly Games. Right, so here we are with the man of the hour, Wick, John Wick. And as you can see, he's not got a bad little setup for what he's wearing. So we've started with the Commandant's helmet, and that's mainly to get the crit chance of 15%. It's definitely one of the best pieces in the game, and it works really well on this build. Just down here, and we've got the Spectrum Assault Armour. Now this armour's really nice, gives you a little bit of initiative, and it gives you the detection time, which to be perfectly honest is good because he's going to be our initiator. Now with this, I would say just chuck on whatever you want into the mod slots, it's not too vital. The main thing you're after is things such as this. Spectrum Assault Legs has combat speed. Combat speed is really good on some builds, and this one in particular, because you do want to be moving several squares without using too much of your AP. So again, with the actual mods, chuck something on that gives you high combat speed. Just down here, and you've got the Star of Bravery. This is one of the best utility items in the game, and again it goes really well with this build. It's got hard ass +1, but the main thing you're after is the hit chance, the crit chance, and the action points. Really, really good. I would say if you're a little bit later into the game, probably a little bit 3/4 through, instead of this one you could change it to just over here, which is the Chem Tech chest. We're not quite at that point in the game with what stats we've got on, but you can if you're probably around about level 23 or 24 I believe. Now just over here, and I've got the man cannon in the primary slot, but like I said, I had to change my build up a little bit, so don't worry about that. Think of it as if it were a secondary. This will be the one that you're using mainly, the Jackhammer pump shotgun. And this is an absolute beast. It really does remind you of the scene from John Wick 2 when he's just taking everyone out with a tactical assault shotgun. So as you can see there, it does work really well. It's got 110 to 161 times 3 damage. You could get it a little bit higher if you wanted to spec into a different background or quirk. I forget which one I've picked now, but if you use the one that upped the fire damage, but we're not going to be using that for this one. Also, you'll be getting a lot of extra damage against the squishies, so the flesh type characters, humans, animals and mutants, and you'll be hitting a little bit less against the robotics. So the scope will be the far-sighted computer assisted scope, and the reason you'll want that is to give it the range so that when you put the choke on, it doesn't kind of it doesn't nerf it too much. And like I said, the choke that I've put on is the ragged choke to give you the great cone angle. This works really, really good. So you've got -3 meters, but because of the scope, it still works well. The underbarrel, and I've changed it to fire. If you wanted to do a build on explosive or something different, you very well could. To be perfectly honest, this shotgun does so much damage that you can kind of change it to your playstyle, but I like fire in this one. It's a bit different and it does the job. Just down here, and another essential thing for this is the quick fire mag. So it's -1 AP to attack, and it makes it so that this hits for 2 AP rather than the 3. That makes it really versatile and lets you have a lot of shots per match. Now just down here, I really like this for this character, Brain Candy. It gives you 15% strike charge, and it just makes it so that how this character's built, you'll be getting on the 4th turn, you'll be getting your strike meter all the way up so that you can activate your kind of ultimate. And just over here we have Toast, because you'll be able to get that whenever you repair the toasters, and if you have a little look, it gives you +1 AP, so this is definitely worth having on this build. And just over here we have Coffin Nails. If you want to, you don't have to, but it can up your crit chance, and you do hit quite a lot with this build anyway. Now all 3 of these can kind of be activated before you go into battle, so it does definitely work in your favour, as like I said, this guy's going to be our initiator. Now just over on the attributes, and to be perfectly honest, like I always say, adjust the build to how you feel comfortable. This is how I've got him, but you can tweak it to how you like. So coordination, most times I would always say it's well worth having this maxed out just to get that vital AP. Awareness, again, you're going to have that guaranteed range damage and the extra hit chance. That's always really vital on these builds. Strength, we've got him at 4, that's just so that he's not quite as squishy. If you did want to put that down, you could, but to be perfectly honest, I keep it on 4 just to swap into the Chemtech chest further down the line. The speed over here I've got 4. Like I said, these type of builds, I really like being able to maneuver around the field and to pick up kills that you sometimes wouldn't be able to get. Intelligence is definitely vital in this build. It gives you the crit chance and gives you the extra damage. Charisma, you've got that at 4, as like I said, you're aiming for that 4th shot will be your kind of special attack, which will be the strike rate. So that one I've got 4, and that activates that every 4th shot. Just down here, and we've got Serial Killer. So gain 3 AP for each kill in combat once per turn. So you lose an action point, but like I said, you get it kind of back on the toast as such, and some of the food types give you that as well, so you will have that 1 AP back most times if you feel you need it. You won't always, and you will definitely be getting these kills. If you're not picking up at least 1 kill every single go of this character, you're probably really out of position or struggling in some way, because he should definitely have the damage and the amount of shots needed to finish people off. And just down here, nice and easy, Disciple of Metal. I've picked that, he's John Wick, and well, let's face it, I've kind of counted it as if he knows what he's talking about with guns, and that's fire damage bonus 15%. Now over on the skills tree, and I've got sneaky stuff all the way up, because I love initiating with my shotgun character. This guy's John Wick, he takes out an army at the very start, and that's what you do with Lights Out. The extra damage from that is ridiculous, and you will pretty much massacre everyone you're aiming at, as long as you're aiming at a few people to activate the perk later on. Small arms you're going to want at 8, because that's what you need to have both guns. And Toaster Repair, you're going to want that at 7, because that's what you have needed for Heating Element, which gives you the extra damage. Weird Science, again, we've got that at 4 at the moment, and it's because we're not quite there yet. We'll want this as maxed as high as possible, as late game as possible, so just kind of keep upping it as you go. Animal Whisperer, we've got it at 3, because John pretty much wants his dog. And as you can see from that, we've got Animal Training, so it will do a little bit of damage. Don't worry about this one, it's from the utility item. So over on the perks, and what I've put on is Deep Pockets to have that extra kind of item slot. A little bit healthy because you want him to stay alive. John Wick is renowned for kind of staying alive as such. And down here I've got Clear Cover, because it's really good against actual targets that are out of cover with your shotgun builds. Draw, which is essential in pretty much nigh on most builds actually, especially ones that actually reload quite often. And just down here, Devastation, the main perk that you'll be using in this build, linked with Draw as well, which is really good. Just down here, like I said, you'll have Animal Training, and on Toaster Repair you're going to have that Heating Element, which gives you that 25% fire damage bonus. Right down the bottom you've got Sneaky Stuff, which is going to be your 1 second detection time. It works really well, it really does. Lastly we have Lights Out, which gives you that 200% sneak attack damage, great for initiating, a good one. But yeah, for this, let's have a look. Right guys and girls, what I'm going to do, I'm going to chuck on a little bit of footage for you, and you can kind of decide for yourself whether or not you enjoy the build. But it is a nice build, it is very fun, and let's face it, you've probably done quite a bit in Wastelands now. If you haven't, then this is definitely a great starting character to make, and I think he definitely looks quite John Wick-ish. On one side note, I can't remember offhand exactly what it is. I believe it's round about level 6 of Kiss-Ass, but what it is, if you go to the bazaar, you can actually get a suit off of one of the patrons there, or one of the people outside. It might be the person who's actually in a suit who you meet really on in the game. But have a little look on Google if that doesn't help you at all. But yeah, go to the bazaar and you can get a suit off of someone by just kind of bartering with them as such. That would probably make him look completely in character. But yeah, I'll chuck on that footage now, and as always, if you're not part of the Sofa Squad and you'd like to be, for all things Xbox and soon Xbox Series X, once I can get my hands on it, I'll be bringing you the latest and greatest in all the gaming content. As always, here's some footage, take care.